Hi, everybody. I'm Chicago's very own Mel Doerr, the Aloha shirt psychic, and I have Arthur Ease Your Mind with me.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, so what's going on?
Not too much. Actually, it was funny. We had a little minor earthquake on Saturday. I was doing a reading on Zoom, and I'm looking at the chandelier in my in my dining room going this way, and the girl's like, "What's wrong?" I said, "We just had an earthquake, but this thing's bolted to the wall, so I'm not have to worry about it." But then we had windstorms on Sunday, and I had to go around the neighborhood looking for my patio furniture covers. They all blew away.
We're in the next county, right?
Well, it's a nice way to get to know your neighbors.
Hey, that would be a good idea for a shake and bake commercial. Just be in your kitchen in California when an earthquake is going on, and you put the chicken in the bag and just hold still,
Yeah,
right?
it wasn't that bad. It barely noticeable, but it's when I saw the chandelier moving that I knew we had something.
I would have been like,
Yeah,
um,
yes. So it's
anyway.
all good. And you? How about
Supposed to
you?
get like this. Well, they said from Chicago, from the south side and the north side, one area is going to get like 1 to 3 inches, one area is going to get up to 12 inches and whatever. And Chicago's so big, it kind of runs almost from northern Indiana to southern Wisconsin. Chicago's huge, well, with suburbs anyway. But where we're at, I don't even think it was supposed to start raining last night and snow today, but it didn't start snowing till this afternoon. But the
Mm.
temperature was like 36 or something, 35. And so it was slush.
Oh,
And I don't even think we've got 2 or 3 inches out there. For us, that's nothing. I mean, that's nothing.
right. Well,
As
I just
Linda,
live in Indianapolis, and when they had a snow day, you had drifts this high.
as Linda Grindle would say, it's a nothing burger.
Yeah, I think we're right.
I think I'm getting a sty on my eyes, so you have to forgive me.
Oh no, I'm
Oh,
sorry.
well, whatever. I'll just put some hot compresses on it and call it a day. Anyway, so here we are. I'm excited. We've got some questions, but there are a few things I do want to talk about before we get to the questions. Number one, I've got openings on my Rhine River tour. All right. But I've got openings on my tour going to Africa on June the 20th. I think I've got room for about four of my I've got room for I've got room for about 4 or 5 more people on the Africa tour. I can only take 20. So if you're interested, um, call my office 847-590-5411. Again, 847-590-5411 is going to be an amazing trip. And then for the Rhine River, I think I've got 43, 44, 45 people going on that trip. But there's some more openings. The tour operator called me today and said that they still have a few openings. So if you're interested, come with us. You'll have a ball. Africa's going to be incredible because we're going to be there during the wildebeest migration.
Wow.
And there's a optional hot air balloon ride over the Serengeti, I think, to see the wildebeest. It's going to be cool. So I'm excited. So that's going to be an incredible trip. One day we'll go into this humongous caldera on a volcano, and a lot of wildlife lives in that caldera, and especially the endangered rhinos, the black
Mhm.
rhinos. So we'll get to see them. One of the places we're going to stay, giraffes just come right into the camp. It's supposed to be incredible. So
Mm.
it's going to be an amazing trip. So everybody,
I
give us
should have bought you the Jungle Book for your birthday.
there you go. There you go. Well, you got me the Oz book thing. That was
Yeah,
cool.
that's true.
That's my favorite movie of all time, The Wizard of Oz. Um, anyway, so having said the infomercial, that's out of the way. Um, I want to talk about and see what you feel about it. And I'm sure it's a question people are asking today about this whole Trump immunity thing in court.
Mhm.
And I just want to preface it by saying, in a way, I'm kind of glad that the Supreme Court didn't hear the immunity case because they wanted to go through the lower courts.
Mhm.
So it's it's unusual for me to agree with this Supreme Court, at least with 6 of them, what they're thinking. But I do agree with the fact that they didn't hear it right now because they wanted to go through the lower courts.
Mhm.
intuitively my light bulb went on, my psychic light bulb, and said the reason that they probably did that is because if it went through all the lower appeals courts, and if those courts said he's got absolutely no claim whatsoever for immunity, then they can refuse to hear it and
Hmm.
saves themselves. So that's why I see they did that. Um, I I predict psychically, my guides tell me that his immunity claim not gonna hold water. His argument was ludicrous, absolutely ludicrous. And it's funny, back in 1977, Richard Nixon did the same thing. He said, well, if a president does something wrong or breaks the law, it's okay because that person is and was a president and they're immune. But the courts never heard it because Gerald Ford pardoned him. But
Right.
that brings up a question: how can you pardon somebody for something they haven't been convicted of? Is there a such thing? So I don't think I intuit uh, that the immunity thing is it's it's not going to hold up. He's not immune from the law. Um, and then Trump said this one, grab this. Um, well, if how did he say it? If I'm not immune, then no, neither is Biden. Well, okay, right. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
But Biden hasn't done anything. That's the whole point. But um, now the House, some of those MAGAs in the House are talking about impeaching Biden, but yet they're saying that Trump is immune. Well, then if that's the case, shouldn't Biden be? But Biden didn't do
Exactly.
anything. So their arguments are just ridiculous. But I
Well,
intuit that Trump is going to be held responsible. So what do you think?
did
That's my
you hear
off my
any of the
bandwagon.
did you hear any of the arguments? It was ludicrous.
Ludicrous. I was like, what?
When his lawyer said the only way you can convict or take president to court is if they were impeached and then convicted.
Right.
And the judge said, well, so if he murders people and he's not impeached and is not convicted, so he can murder people.
And the
And
lawyer couldn't answer it.
he's just, well, it was ludicrous. Number one. Number two, I agree with you 100% that they needed to hear it first. But I also feel that Jack Smith pulled, you know, pulled their hand because he gave it both to them and to the Supreme Court at the same time. So they knew they had to move on it.
I think Jack Smith knew that the Supreme Court would knock it back down to the lower courts. You know,
Correct.
I think it's you said or somebody said he's playing multi-dimensional chess and he's
Mm-hmm.
winning and he will win because he's much smarter than, he's brilliant and he knows what he's doing. So when the Supreme Court said at first they would knock it back down to the lower courts and see what they said, people thought that was a win for Trump, but I thought, no,
No,
it's
it was a loss. It was a
that's the win
loss.
for Jack Smith. It's a big loss.
Yeah.
And Trump showed up and now he's saying, oh, I can't be on the I can't do his imitation, but I can't be on the campaign trail because I had to show up in court. He did not have to show up in court today.
No, he didn't.
Essentially, you know, I I intuit anyway, my psychic light bulb said the only reason he showed up at the appeal is to use it to gain attention.
Right.
It's a political showing for him, and he's going to use it to raise money.
Yep.
Exactly what I see. What
Yep.
about you? What do you think?
It's all smoke and mirrors. It's all theater of the absurd.
No.
And it's but also he's I said something on my show last night about Trump and Biden. That Trump says Biden's crazy, that Biden's a thief, that Biden's this, Biden's that, and it's all things that Trump is.
Trump always does that.
So I said they should get the song "Nobody Does It Better," or anything you can do, I can do better.
Anything Trump accuses, whenever
It's all
Trump is
projection.
caught doing something, he accuses other people of doing the same things that he did.
Yes. So that's
Hillary
why we
Clinton,
know what he's up to.
well, if I were president, she'd be in jail. Or he blamed Obama for everything when he was in office. Now he's blaming Biden for everything. He always is going to find a scapegoat, always.
Well, probably because if he did something wrong, Daddy found a scapegoat for him and paid them off.
Correct. But he looks terrible. He's more orange than ever. I wonder if he puts orange dye on his skin or something, because I call him Cheeto Head, but I'm gonna call him the carrot because he looks just like orange. Ugh. He looks
There's an episode of Lost in Space where they're being chased by a big carrot.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yep, yep, yep. Some of that stuff got way crazy, but I remember that. Yeah, that's what he looks like. Okay. It's funny. Now, Trump says, I would free the January the 6th hostages, right? And now, like, other Republicans are using the same rhetoric, not that they're convicts, they're hostages, especially Elise Stefanik, right? Or whatever her name is. She's
Mm.
saying the same thing. But you know what? I intuit she's going to be brought down as well. She's going to be in trouble.
Well, you heard about Marjorie Taylor Greene, my tragic girlfriend, that she was going to do a book signing in Florida on the 6th. And it was supposed to be a big party to celebrate January 6th. And when they found out that it was not a book signing per se, but it was more of a fundraiser for January 6th people and to celebrate it, they canceled it. Because when I was talking to a Trumper, unfortunately, and she started saying, yeah, but January 6th, I said, yes, we'll celebrate January 6th, the day that people got murdered,
Yeah. Hello. You
the
know,
day that people crapped on the walls in the house. Okay, nice.
say that Trump tried to overturn the government, you know? If Democrat president had done what Trump did, oh my God, they would have been yelling to get it through the courts already. Trump just knows that, all of this stalling and everything is a legal tactic, because he knows, that he thinks that he knows how slow the courts move, and he thinks that's going to be on his side, because if he wins, that he could pardon himself and all that. It's, it's going to blow up in his face.
Well, maybe with Judge Cannon in Florida, but I have been
Bruce
predicting
Cannon.
she's not going to be the final judge on this either.
I don't think so either. I mean, she's done as far as her judgeship is concerned. Even if she threw out the case, still Jack Smith and still Georgia and other places too will follow suit. So
Yeah, I mean it's Georgia's August 8th, I think is the date they proposed. March 4th. I still see March 4th being the date for the DC court. I don't see it being delayed.
I think they probably wanted to get it done in DC before they did it in Georgia, because when she was saying they'd have it in November, I'm thinking, no way.
No
But isn't
way.
Meadows still trying to get his case in federal to go to federal
It's
court, but he's
it's still
not
not
going,
going to happen. Nothing's going
not
to
gonna
happen. And
happen.
and also he has in March is an interesting calendar for him because on the 25th he has the Stormy Daniels thing in New York.
Going to lose, by the way, I
Oh
am
yeah.
too.
And you do know he tried to get the judge recused because he donated $15 to the Biden campaign.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
That's not gonna work.
petty.
That's not gonna work.
No, he didn't. It didn't happen. But I'm just saying he tried.
Oh, they'll try anything.
Yeah.
Yet he tries to get a judge recused because of $15, but look at how much the money he got from foreign governments and how it's coming out now. But it will come out through whistleblowers and things like that, about how he used a second and third party to give those government secrets in return for money. It'll come out, you'll see.
Well, they already proved that 7 was it
Eight that
7.8
they can
million
find, that they can find.
that they can find. Exactly.
I bet it's a lot more than that. Plus, he owes the Bank of China money, so we shall see.
But it's, oh, but please don't have your food, don't have your medication, but send that money to me. I'm a billionaire.
And people would do it too.
I know.
He's not going to get immunity in the Georgia case either, by the way. So,
Oh no, it's all gonna it's all gonna fall into place.
all right. Oh, I forgot. If they want to get a hold of you, how did they do it?
Rodeo Drive, sandwich board, reach for food.
10 cents a dance.
Exactly. And you can FedEx, and if you want, you can FedEx me that steak. No,
No,
it's
send it to Trump.
no, that's the rump.
Oh, there you
I'll
go.
have the rump roast.
Send the rump to the rump.
Basically, check on it's Arthur Ease Your Mind, Arthur Ease Ease Your Mind Mind here on YouTube and Arth and just ArthurEaseYourMind.com is my
And,
website. And
and
if you need to call me, 310-494-5955.
repeat that again.
310-494-5955.
You have to use your computer voice.
310.
310-494-5955.
Yeah, I'll for next time I'll have Siri say it.
Oh, nah.
Maybe I have a male voice for Siri. That's fine.
Again, 310-494-5955. ArthureEaseYourmind.com. Go to his YouTube channel. Thumbs up, subscribe.
Thank you.
All right, and if
Thank
you
you.
like this, thumbs up, subscribe. Right below. That's all you got to do. Hit that button.
I did a show once and said, come on, you can subscribe. I'll wait.
Yeah, right. Oh, I like that. I'm looking.
That's it. You can do it.
I'm looking. All right. So we've got some questions. Let me get them out here.
And you've
Yep.
always thought, thank you, Mel. Thank you for having me.
Oh, thanks for being on the show. We're going to do this regularly now.
Yeah, I have no life. That's good.
Thanks. Made me feel real good. All
Well, it's
right.
usually me and my sock puppet, so that's about it.
Oh, Marilyn Monroe. We have a Marilyn Monroe on here, y'all. Okay. Marilyn says, my sweet 90-year-old mama, who
Oh.
doesn't hate anyone except Trump and his cronies, despises Steve Bannon. Do you see him convicted and jailed? If so, can you tell when?
Well, I always get a yes on it.
By the way, Marilyn, your mama's a really wise woman. Tell her we said.
She aged like a good wine.
She's very wise. She doesn't like Trump. Good for her.
Yeah.
So what do you think about Bannon?
I always felt, you know, if he hadn't been pardoned, everything would have been fine. But he's going to jail. You know, he'd be, and there's a lot of fraud, a lot of just, I think it was what, Roger Stone had asked him to do away with Eric Swalwell and Nader.
Yeah.
So it's, yeah, it's not a pretty picture. What do you think?
Well, I've said all along when Trump pardoned him, when he was arrested because he took money to put up a wall and it was he used it for other stuff. I wonder if he declared that for taxes. Um, I said all along that at some point, even when Trump pardoned him, that he was going to end up being indicted for other stuff and going to
Mhm.
the pokey. And so I still hold by that.
And I
Uh,
love the fact they took him when they first arrested him, he was on like a billionaire's yacht. Yeah, this is
oh,
the man, this is a man of the people.
oh yeah, right. Um, and that smug grimace he had because he knew when he was arrested, he already knew he was going to get pardoned from Trump, you
Mm,
know. But I see him at some point. There's going to be people that'll come forward to spill the beans on him about other stuff he's pulled. And I
mhm,
think as we speak, he's still being looked at behind the scenes. There's investigations going on there. And I see him indicted and I see him incarcerated at some point. The same as I do with Roger Stone and Flynn.
mhm.
That hasn't changed either.
No,
When Trump pardoned them, we got some flack that, oh, well, you guys said they'd be in jail. And I said, yeah, well, the opera's not over until till the big lady sings. And so here we are.
into the fat lady sings.
No, I don't want to say that. That's not nice. Anyway.
Zoftic.
All right. Okay. Um, I can't pronounce his name. Pick Oliveira says, hi, Mel and Arthur. Love from the UK. Hey, UK, how
Oh.
are you? Will Rishi Sunak be the prime minister much longer?
Hmm.
UK is such a fantastic country. Yes, it is. But has been ruled by clowns, Boris, Truss, and now Sunak. Thank you. Well, America's a wonderful country, and we were ruled by somebody who's a wannabe insurrectionist dictator, um, Donald Trump.
I'd
So
say
what do you,
Bozo, but that gives Bozo a bad name.
I know. So what do you think about sumac? I know it's sumac, but there's a poison sumac.
Yes.
So what do you think about sumac?
I don't know how long their terms last,
I don't either.
but I feel this is the only one he has.
When he became prime minister, I said, he's going to get on the same path as the rest of them. He's a one-time deal. In fact, I see more liberals coming to the government in the UK. I really do.
Mhm.
So um, I don't see him as prime minister for a long time. Excuse me.
Mhm.
The next prime minister, I think, is more liberal, more for the people, and would not certainly be like, fancy-haired Boris. Um,
Or
Truss
fancy
is
haired
like a
Margaret Thatcher.
joke, and the sumac will be gone too.
Yeah.
Um, all right. Wonder how the new prime minister after Sumac will get along with the king. I think they'll get along quite
I
well.
get fine. I get fine.
I still, it's hard to say the king because I don't think, you know,
I was going to say William's going to do a great job.
thank you. I don't wish Charles harm, but I just don't see him king long. He's not going to live as long as his mother.
No.
So I don't know. At some point, I see him stepping down, but Charles will be amazing.
Did you see the new prime minister that the French elected?
Macron?
No, prime minister. He's the president. Prime
Oh,
minister. First
no.
openly gay man.
Oh, yay. What's his name? Marie?
Yeah, Chevalier.
We
I'm
can
not
say
sure.
this. We were gay. We can do this.
I just read headlines. I didn't read the details.
I gotta look and see. Okay. Wonder if he's single. I'll call him up. Hi, I got a date for you. His name's Arthur.
Matchmaker,
He's in
matchmaker.
Los Angeles. All right. You better learn French. Uh,
Oh, right. Très bien. My
I don't speak. I speak Spanish and understand it.
father is French Canadian,
Oh, well, in that case,
but
okay.
I speak the French I speak is like the French Canadian, the old fashioned French.
Oh, they'd understand you. All I know is mon Dieu. Okay. It's cool to be kind. Yes, it is cool to be kind. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Okay.
Great
Hi,
song.
Mel and Arthur. Will Ron DeSantis ever force Bridget Ziegler to resign from both the Disney board and the Sarasota school board? She's also a Moms of Liberty co-founder, and DeSantis is the only one that can force her to step down. She refuses to resign from either board, despite the fact that her husband has been accused of rape, and they've both been having, well, never mind. Um, um, they've been committing no-nos while campaigning against the LGBT community. So they say the hypocrisy is astounding. So I guess there's three questions here. I think her, no, it's not Ziegler, it's Ziegler. Will
Hmm.
Bridget Ziegler be forced to resign from Disney and Sarasota School Board? I hear yes from
Yes.
Disney and
Well,
Sarasota.
they made Christian go, her husband.
Right.
He's gone.
Okay. So I take it that's a yes, right?
Yes.
Okay. She's also Moms of Liberty co-founder, and DeSatan is the only one that can force her to step down. She refuses to resign from that board either, despite the fact of what her husband and herself were accused of. So do you see her off that board?
Yes.
So do I.
Yeah.
Um, let me see. I see both of them under investigation, and I see indictments coming there too. I know that sounds disingenuous for me to say everybody's being indicted,
No, but
but
I feel something about financial wrongdoings.
well, but also because of I don't want to go to YouTube jail, but they were accused of some pretty serious sexual things. And so
Yeah, instead of family values, it was the Manson family values.
well, right. Um hmm. So I don't know. I see criminal charges against both of them.
Hmm.
I mean, I'm talking felony charges. So I think it's pronounced Ziegler, and in German it'd be Ziegler, but I get my I's and E's mixed up.
I'm dyslexic, so don't worry about it.
There you go. Okay. Charmin 804 says, "Hi Mel and Arthur. Happy New Year to you both. Happy New Year to you
Mm.
too. Here in Cuyahoga County in Ohio." Oh, my husband's aunt used to live in Cuyahoga County, right by the forest there. It's beautiful there, by the way. Very hilly and beautiful. Here in Cuyahoga County in Ohio, we will be voting on the county prosecutor this November. The incumbent is being challenged by a promising challenger. Do you see the outcome? Thank you. I hear the challenger, the promising challenger, will win. That's what I pick up.
I got the same thing.
Yay. Um, so
And
the,
I don't pull cards that much, but I did pull a card on that using the Lenormand deck, and it's all destiny.
what deck is that?
Lenormand
Spell?
with an L, like Lenormand. It's the French deck. She was a reader in Paris for Josephine, and she told Napoleon not to go to Waterloo.
Ooh,
And see what happens when you don't listen to your psychic?
I should have listened. Now,
Yeah,
what's the name of the deck again?
Lenormand,
Just spell the whole thing out.
like Leonard Mond, Leonard Mand.
Okay, I've never heard of that deck. Is it
Yeah.
like a tarot deck?
No, dude, it's little pictures, little oracle cards.
Oh,
And
oh, oh,
like
mon
this.
Dieu. I like that. Is it written in French or English?
Um, the story behind that. These little sayings were not from her original deck. When in the 70s, a guy named Stuart Kaplan owned US Games, wrote these little sayings, which he felt meant for the cards. I was doing a reading once for someone, and she said, "Well, that's not what the card says." I said, "Excuse me?" She said, "Well, that's read that." I said, "Oh God." So this deck is in German, and I have two others in French. So if ever anybody sees them, they can't correct me. But those were made up by not Lenormand.
Oh, let me, when we're done, let me know where you got the German deck or where you get the decks. That'd be cool.
No, actually, the House of Lenormand, she's a really good reader.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Um, Irene Chavez says, "Hi, Mel and Arthur." Hi, Irene.
I mean,
Question. What is the deal with Lloyd Austin being hospitalized and President Biden not knowing about it until 4 days later? That wasn't a big secret. Sometimes people go in the hospital, Biden's busy. This guy probably said, if it's something that's not that huge, and maybe just didn't want to. I think Biden knew about it, but I think that probably Lloyd asked him not to say anything
right.
until they had a diagnosis. And
Yeah,
I think that's what that was about.
he's prostate cancer, and he's just trying to keep it quiet, which is
Right.
his right.
And as a former cancer survivor, oropharyngeal, when I first found out, I didn't want to come public with it either until I found out. I mean, I knew it might be, but when I found out it was for real, that's when we talked about it. So
Yeah,
I understand where Mr. Austin's coming from. And I do think Biden knew, maybe not for a day or more, but I think when Austin went in the hospital, he probably figured maybe it's, some kind of infection or something. We'll see what's going on. And I think at some point before that, doctors probably thought it was and said, let's just put him in for testing. And there you have it. So I don't think
Yeah,
it was any conspiracy. It was no big cover up. It wasn't anything like that. I
no,
just think that they were respecting the guy's privacy.
yeah,
Just because
he's
he's got prostate cancer doesn't mean that he won't do a good job.
right.
Right? All right. By the way, I have a question for you about Trump's health. A lot of people are asking about that, and he really does look terrible. I think all this is taking its toll on him. Even though he's loving the attention, it's really wearing on him.
Well, I've always said from day one he doesn't cross the finish line, whatever way you want to read that.
Right.
Even if he were on the ticket, I still don't see him crossing the finish line with the ticket. I feel somebody else may come in. I
Okay.
feel in May is what I've been reading that things start going downhill for him. And it's it's going to be more and more noticeable as we get around March 4th. He's going to be a basket case. And, you know, first he's doing the nursery rhyme, the Emperor's New Clothes. Then he's going to end up doing Humpty Dumpty.
That's what I always call him, Humpty Dumpty.
Had a great fall. We
Humpty
can put them
Dumpty
back
sat on
together
the
again.
wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the
All
king's
the
men.
things, man. Couldn't put
All
Humpty.
the Trump's horses and all the Trump's men couldn't put Donnie back together again.
Margie Taylor Greene and Mike Johnson couldn't get.
Okay. Um, so
I don't wish anybody
I don't wish him
anything.
harm. No, I don't wish him
No.
harm, but
But
um,
also the dementia is starting. I mean, him leaning forward the way he does, then putting sandbags under his toes so he doesn't tip over. It's scary. It's
he
a
didn't
type of
have
dementia.
sandbags under his toes.
Yeah, when he's doing those like viral vitriol videos, he's they have right in front of him, his toes are on sandbags so he doesn't tip over.
The way he talks, it's so disjointed, and I mean, some of the stuff he comes up with is like, why did he pick
And
that?
it's one lie after the other. And it's sad because people don't know better and they believe him.
Well, when do you know that Trump is lying? He opens his mouth.
Okay. Do they really believe that's a picture of him with the Rambo body?
Yeah, right. I don't think so. He's got more sags than never mind.
He's gonna look like Bib the Michelin Tire Man.
No, Michelin Tire Man looks great compared to.
Yeah, yeah, really.
Okay. Jenny Thormalin says Scalise, who voted against funding stem cell research, has now pushed his his fat butt to
Yep.
the front of the line to receive stem cell therapy. Isn't that what we call karma?
Isn't that what we call hypocrisy?
Feel like church lady.
Isn't that special?
It's special. Anyway, let me read that again. Scalise, who has voted against funding stem cell research, has now pushed his fat butt to the front of the line to receive stem cell therapy. Is he having second thoughts about not supporting stem cell research funding? Absolutely not. He's like, I didn't have to support it, but it's there now. I want it and I want the treatment
Yeah.
because it's all about them. If when it comes to them, if it's something that helps them, they're all for it. If it's going to help somebody else, oh, I don't like it.
Well, actually, if they're against it, but it can help them, they go get it
Correct.
secretly.
But we're
Quiet.
still against it, right?
Yeah. Well, it's like all these people that voted down the package about building all the bridges and all that kind of stuff. And now they're the ones for the rollout parades. Oh, look what we did.
Right. Oh yeah. A reporter called somebody on that. I forget how it was. It was some politician. Look at everything we did with this act and da da da. And somebody said to the politician, but you voted against it. And he didn't know what to say.
Put it on the record.
Nowadays what you put out on the internet stays for perpetuity.
Hmm.
and you better be able to back it up because somebody's going to call you on it.
Yep.
All right. Hello, Auntie Mel and Arthur. Jitterbug Tutu. Hi,
That
Jitterbug.
name.
I love that name. Will the law change for people in the government who break the Stock Act? If they get caught, it's only a $250 penalty. So, of course, they're going to trade and make thousands of dollars with a minimum penalty. Thank you for these shows. You guys are amazing. Oh, thank you, Jitterbug. I see that law changing where if they have that inside information, that they cannot engage in that sort of trading while they hold an
Office.
elected spot. And if they do, um, oh, what is it when you I forget what
Insider
it's called.
trading.
I'm sorry,
Insider
inside trading.
trading.
Yeah. I think there will be laws passed against the people in the House and the Senate doing insider trading.
Yeah.
I mean, look at what they did to Martha Stewart, and look at what these guys are doing and women.
At least she did it with style.
I'm sorry.
At least she did it with style.
You should make great pot roast. All right. Um, Stormy's Schumacher says, Secretary of State Jenna Griswold certifies 2024 Colorado presidential primary election ballot, Denver, Colorado. It says today, Colorado Secretary of State Jenna Griswold certified the statewide Republican and Democratic ballots for the 2024 presidential primary election. Secretary Griswold said, Colorado's 2024 presidential primary ballot is certified. The United States Supreme Court has accepted the case, and Donald Trump will appear on the ballot as a result. I don't understand if that's a comment or what that's about.
Basically, even though the court said he should not be on the ballot, she certified it because there's a stay on it and it's before the Supreme Court until they decide what the answer is.
Well,
And it's for the primary. It's for the primary. It's not for the election.
oh, I see. I see. But at first she wasn't going to certify it, but she probably had to now because she can't do anything until the court
Her
decides.
hands are tied. But again, this is for the primary.
Right. But she followed the law.
Yes.
But wasn't Colorado the first to want to remove his name?
Yes.
And then a couple other states followed suit.
Then Maine followed suit. The
And then
Secretary of State there.
one more, I think, did or wants to or
I'm
something.
not, I know California was trying,
Because I
but
see a couple more states following suit.
the thing is when the Supreme Court rules on that, that hearing, I believe, is February 8th, around there.
Right. But but for her certifying his name on the ballot, what if the Supreme Court says that the state has the right to take the name off the ballot, which they won't do? But I wonder what would happen if she could take it back off again.
Well, again, this is for the primary,
No, I get that.
not the national election.
Right. But if
They
his,
can take his name off the national election.
but then they would still have to have a candidate. I don't know. I don't know. But I know she was,
I don't have enough water in my magic 8 ball to figure that one out.
I don't either, but but I think the reason she did it was because,
Follow the law.
right,
That's all.
because it's going to the court. I think the Supreme Court should have heard it sooner, but I think
Well,
they delayed hearing it for a reason as well.
I still feel they don't want to hear it and they're going to try and kick off the Congress.
Um, hmm, I'm sure they'll find something to sidestep it. But the only scary part about that is to say, okay, we took his name off because of because of the insurrection, but yet the Republicans are already saying, well, we're going to take Biden's name off too in certain states. So
Yeah,
where
but they have no proof of
I get that. I understand all that.
it's all lip service. Again, it's all smoke and mirrors. It's
I
all
get
getting crazy.
I understand that too, but I think what I see coming out of all of this is there's going to be states that will change their constitutions to say that if a president is like breaking the 14th Amendment or whatever, then we have proof of that, which they do, then we have the right to take the name off the ballot.
I agree with that.
So do I. I mean, I just said it.
No, I'm agreeing with your prediction.
Oh, I see. I thought you meant with the decision. Um, sorry. Duh. The dog wants me to
It's
pet
okay.
the dog. Um, that's a smart one. I mean, that's a way around it for the court to kick it back to Congress, but they'll find a way around it.
But what I said on the recent show, whether he's on the ballot or off the ballot, he's not winning.
I'm glad you said that because a lot of people are nervous about what if he does.
Well, I don't see him crossing the finish line.
Good.
I often feel at the last minute Nikki Haley gets in there and she still loses to Biden.
Oh, you think it'll be Haley the last
Mhm.
minute? Okay.
Or my liver was backing up from the 70s and I just saw things. I don't know.
So she's saying that because his name, the Supreme Court took the case that he's going to be on the ballot. Had they not taken the case, she could have kept it off. But so she's following
Correct.
the law. I got it.
Correct.
Well, she did it lawfully, then good. I mean, um, okay. Klebanov. Hello, Mel and Arthur. The war between Israel and Palestine has left thousands of people dead. People are calling for a ceasefire. Will Pope Francis be able to negotiate a ceasefire and peace at a later time? I think Pope Francis is probably talking to Netanyahu about stopping it. I mean, what Hamas did was terrible to attack Israel. We all
Hmm.
know Russian Iran was behind it, but yet Netanyahu is keeping this going on. This he could have ended this weeks ago, but he's keeping it going on because he wants to take attention away from himself because it's a diversion because he was being looked at because of the crap he pulled that
Right.
was illegal. So that's why he's keeping this war going.
Well, what I've been predicting is a ceasefire at the end of the month in the first week of February.
Um,
I mean, that's what I got when I
uh,
pulled on.
this is clearly something political on the part of Netanyahu to keep it going.
Yes.
Come on, give it up already. It's genocide is genocide no matter who commits it. And
Hmm.
it's not right. And I'm pro-Israel, but I can't be pro-Netanyahu. Not at all.
There's a difference.
There is a difference. Okay, Maddie says, hello, Arthur and Mel. I feel like I knew my husband in another past life and he feels the same. We are so in tune with each other. Can your guides let me know if that's true? Well, we're not really doing personal questions tonight, but I'll go ahead and answer it. The answer is it is true. You probably knew each other in many, many past lives.
Oh, I was going to say they met on the mothership, but
My
yeah,
husband
it's
says,
amazing when you see somebody and you know. But a lot of times I've had clients that get confused because you meet somebody from another lifetime. That doesn't mean you're together in this one. It just means you were in another one. And so then they go down the rabbit hole.
right,
But then there's the ones like these two that, yes, they've been together many, many times. They have a
man.
soul contract.
Um, my husband probably going, I want to get rid of him in this one.
Here's a contract. It's called divorce.
There's a contract. Yeah, right. No, the divorce ends the contract.
Yeah. No one's, yeah. Then,
Well, it is a contract too, actually.
yeah. Null and void.
Yeah, right. Done. RDIVORCE.
And first
Okay.
it was divorce court. Now it's going to be gay divorce court.
Well, I has said when, before they passed the Supreme Court said that gay people could get married. Thank God it happened during that window, because
Mm.
otherwise we would have still been like, uh-uh. But I said, then I should go to law school and specialize in gay divorce because if the divorce rates among LGBTQ is the same as it is among straight people, then I'd make a lot of money.
Hmm. Yep.
Anyway, Roll Card says, hi guys, when will we see the end of Fox News? I don't think they're going to go away anytime soon, but I see a lot more lawsuits filed against some big lawsuits that the people filing lawsuits are going to win. And so,
Also, as Trump dissipates,
Yes, that's
You're
right.
not going to be catering to his people as
Right.
much.
What is the new name of Twitter?
X.
Well, when Elon Musk took over Twitter and it became X, even before it came X, I said it's going to tank. It's going to go down the tubes, and that's exactly what's happening.
Yeah. I originally didn't see him getting it, but then at the last minute he did.
I
So
didn't see him getting it either, but he did. But I don't think it's doing very well, right? I think it's
no,
a problem.
no.
Um,
It's like looking at the picture of the Hindenburg. Oh, the humanity.
like crash and burn. Okay, these Sokogo says, "Can you read on Roger Stone? Will he go to jail?"
Does the Pope live in the Vatican?
Is the Pope Catholic?
Exactly.
Well,
Does the never mind.
well, actually, the Pope doesn't live in the Vatican. He's got his own apartment outside of the
Right.
Vatican, I think.
A little part. Yeah, right. But you get the drift.
Right. But I do think this Pope is behind the scenes working to try to bring about a
Mhm.
ceasefire to the whole Gaza thing. So
He is a peacemaker. I mean,
this Pope,
at time when they asked him about on the plane, report said something about gay people, and he said, "Who am I to judge?"
well, he opened the door to priests blessing gay people, which is huge.
Yeah, not
Fortunately,
marriage, but just blessing.
my psychic light bulb just went on. I'm very, very concerned about Pope Francis's health. I really am. Um, and I'll leave it at that. I'm
Mhm.
thinking that he's not in great health. Um, that's what I pick up. And I don't think he's going to be Pope for a lot longer, because I see white smoke at the Vatican again, which would mean the election of another Pope. Uh,
Right.
but the next Pope, I don't think is going to be conservative. I think it would really be a Pope once again for the people, and that would pull people together. And at some point, I thought it would be under this Pope, but I think I was wrong on that. But I see a third Vatican Council being called. So, like the Second Vatican Council reformed the church, I see a third Vatican Council being called that will really reform the church even more. And at some point, where even women can go into the clergy and where priests can get married. And I think we'll see that in our lifetime.
Well,
So you heard it here first, you all. I know it sounds way out there, but
no, it's not really because he's been trying to do a lot of reforms behind the scenes.
right.
It's
So
almost like he's trying to,
yep,
if he was a comedian, he'd be in Tahoe checking out his jokes before he went to Vegas,
there you go. So what about
checking
Roger
out his material.
Stone? What do you think? Jail? Yes.
Roger Stone, yeah,
Of
yeah.
course. All right, is Pope Catholic? All right. No, he's Protestant. All right. Susan Strickland says Josh Hawley was taking credit in an ad for reduced drug prices. I would like to know if Lucas Coons will beat him in the Senate race.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
We both took perverse pleasure in that, didn't we? Yes.
Well, I forget whose show it was, but they were asking about him, talking about him running, and I said when he was running down the hallway from his own people, all he needed was saddle shoes and little pigtails.
Hula hoops.
Yeah. Well, little plaid uniform. I mean, he just was like skipping.
Oh my God.
Entertainment purposes only, people.
Yes, entertainment purposes only. Josh took credit for it. All right. Yeah, right. Okay. But these politicians take credits for
That's
stuff.
what we were just talking about.
No, it's like, and they didn't, and then when they're called on, they're like, oh, okay. Uh, and I can't, and-
It's like little kids in the playground. Nuh-uh.
right.
But you voted. Nuh-uh.
ANNELW. Uh, an LW says, hello, you two. Hi. Will any of the calls sending SWAT teams to Trump's targets be successful in hurting anyone? Are the calls domestic or foreign? Um, I don't know what they're sending SWAT teams to Trump's target to what? Oh,
I was like, remember on Christmas Day when Marty Taylor Greene's house got swatted for the eighth time, where all the SWAT teams show up?
Oh, I gotcha.
And
Well,
they did that,
because
and they
she's
did that
behind it.
Judge Chutkin, I think, last week.
They did what? I'm sorry.
They did the same thing with to Judge Chutkin,
So what are they doing? Calling SWAT teams to go to the people's house?
calling and saying there's all this stuff happening, and they're on high alert anyway when it comes to someone like that. So they go
And
run it.
nothing's going on when they get to their house.
Mm-mm.
Well, they're going to find, I think they're going to really start figuring out who's making these calls and really, really harsh punishments for people who make false calls like that. Um,
Mhm.
so I see, I mean, that's going to end real soon. Um,
They may be calling from a burner phone, but believe me, they got technology.
oh, they're going to be able to trace the burner phones, of course. Um, Unfortunately, with Trump calling out people like working in the court and stuff like that, there'll be threats against some of them. And I see at least, I hope I'm wrong, but one or two people getting injured. And that's going to really, really spur the court to say, wait a minute here.
Enough's enough.
And if they're injured because of what Trump did, they're going to try to hold him responsible for that.
Hmm.
So, I mean, he just needs to shut his mouth. All right. Let's see. Laura Wright. Michael Roman, one of Donald Trump's co-defendants in the Georgia election interference case, is making an allegation against Fani Willis. He says she has an ongoing romantic relationship with Nathan Wade, the special prosecutor she hired to work on this case. He has asked for the charges against him to be thrown out and for Willis to be dismissed. What will happen? It's like him wanting the judge dismissed because he contributed
$15.
$15. It's
But
both,
it's the same. Remember, Trump was saying that Fonnie Willis was having all these affairs with all these like thugs.
right. Well, here again, Donald Trump accuses people of things he's doing. I wonder how many affairs he's had. We'll find out with Stormy Daniels, won't we?
Mm. Why do I see a can of Campbell soup mushroom? Never mind.
Um, you know what, Laura? That's a great question. The charges against him are not going to be thrown out in Georgia.
Mm.
Even if
No,
she was dating Nathan Wade, what does that mean? It doesn't mean they're working together against Trump and she brought him in.
no.
It's mixing apples and oranges. So there's no conflict of interest there for sure. And he's not, I mean, it's terrible how he tries to assassinate people's character, make them think that there's something bad going on when there really isn't.
Right. Right.
Buckle up your seats. It's going to get crazy. All right. Hi, Mel and Arthur. Happy New Year and much love to you both.
Well, thank
Hey,
you.
this is a good one. Will Citizens United ever be overturned? Will big money be taken out of our politics soon? There's two questions there. Go ahead. I'll let you answer them.
Yes.
Yes, yes, for what?
And yes.
Oh, two yeses? Okay.
Well, it's not right away, but as I've been predicting, there'll be more Supreme Court justices. And when that happens, Citizen United goes away.
There's going to be a lot coming out about Citizens United and some of the crap they pulled behind the
Mhm.
scenes. And I think it's going to be a thing in the future where these large corporations can no longer make these humongous donations to politicians because big companies really try to buy the election. And I see an input. I see that ending soon.
Yes.
All right. Um, I think this is our last one. So yay.
Especially when
Not
that check
yay, but
doesn't,
we got them all.
no, especially when that check doesn't clear from the Cayman Islands.
Yeah, right. Okay. Um, let's see. Sheila Be a Critical Thinker says, hi, Auntie Mel and Arthur. With people like Jordan making a mockery of our justice system, he certainly does. Will any of those Congress people that helped plan and act or took part in the J6 insurrection ever get indicted and prosecuted?
Yes. I feel after the first quarter, names are going to start coming out.
Yep, big time.
Now, when I was meditating on this whole thing a couple of days ago, and I was looking at Mike Johnson, They kept on showing me a kabuki theater.
I'm saying,
And
kept
they
showing you.
kept on showing me a kabuki theater where all these people are dressed in black, making everything move around. But then someone turns the lights on and you see all these people holding up the puppets. So
Ooh,
that's the way I look at this.
I like that. So interpret that
Someone's turning the light on and people are going to be seen for what they really did.
before they can crawl back into the woodwork.
Right. But then there's Raid.
Well, sometimes that works and sometimes it doesn't. It just makes them run.
Well, good.
There you go. Okay, once again, if they want to get a hold of you, how do they do it?
Arthur Ease Your Mind here on YouTube, arthureaseyourmind.com, and in Mel's computer voice, 310-494-5955.
But it is 0, not O.
Oh, 310. Sorry. Like I told you last time, it's a Malibu number, but I projected one day I live in Malibu. It took me 30 years just to get the phone number. So
Hey, well, then maybe one of these days you'll end up in Malibu. All right, it's been a pleasure. Your show next week?
we'll see. I may have jury duty. I will let you know, but definitely the following week.
Just simply say they did it. I'm a psychic. I know it. You'll get off.
I know.
Usually
And
they
so
don't like psychics on juries anyway. So.
I told you last time, yes, they put me in the jury.
Well, they did?
Yeah, they know I was psychic, they know everything. And I was juror number 11. And it was a
Wow.
murder trial. And I'm thinking, do I tell the judge the guy that he killed, tell me how he did it? But at the very last minute with Vidor, I was like, we don't want him.
Well,
So he replaced me at the very last minute. But I was ready to, not that I'm trying to get out of jury duty. It's just that this was going to be like a 2-month trial. And when you work for yourself,
it's hard.
that's pretty hard.
I'd like to be on a jury actually, but not for 2 months.
Hmm.
I couldn't do it because I work for myself.
Exactly.
All right. So anyway, we'll do this again soon. How's that?
Yes,
All right.
definitely. Thank you, man. And thank you,
I've
everyone.
enjoyed this. And so,
I love giggling with you. You're fun.
okay. It's fun. Yeah. I like shows where we can laugh and let it out and well, where we can laugh. Um,
Yeah, like Mike Flynn last week.
that one. Um, I think with a lot of the stuff that's going to be coming out and it's going to be a wild ride, people are going to be fearful. I think it's good to laugh.
Yeah.
And we're going to need a lot of laughs this year. I promise you all, but we'll get through it. Our
And
democracy will survive. And my guides tell me justice will be served.
and we'll do a poll. If the next show we do, we should be sucking helium before we answer the questions.
Yeah. I can't, to me,
Hello. We'll sound like Jacques Cousteau.
all right. On that note,
Just a thought.
all righty.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Mel.
Thank you.
Love you.
All right.